Hi everybody, how you doing today? Today is May 4th. We have had ourselves a beautiful day here in the Thompson Okanagan, British Columbia. We're running about 22 or 23 degrees in the shade. And I'm just going to do a quick video on gardening. So, I just went out and, not normally I buy plants, but I have a really good supplier of non-GMO, non-hybrid plants. So I got a few different kinds of tomatoes like Roma, cherry, beefsteak. I transplanted my chocolate mint. Wow, you can see the crystals on top there. There's some just absolutely wow, is that ever good? And some thyme. And I got my potatoes sitting in here and they're seeding up. Those are Kennebec. Those are excellent for roasting and for mashing and for stews because they don't break down. They don't turn to mush, and they're really hard to get though, Kennebec. So what I use in my soil is I use a mushroom compost, which is basically a 1-1-1. I don't use any brand name, but I just look for the best quality. And I also use it's called a triple mix, and it's got a humus or hummus, peat moss, and compost. Our soil is quite clay. It's quite compact, so I like to use something that aerates the soil. I also dig down really deep and layer it with the mushroom compost. It's really good for giving the soil a boost. You don't want to do pure compost or pure triple mix. You want to add it in with your soil. Ours is really dry, you know, it's real dusty on the outside. Once it dries out, it gets really dusty. So I'm just going to go outside of my greenhouse and I'll get into my garden here. So we got some potatoes, which are hilled up right now, which I'm using that triple blend to hill it up. As you can see, the soil is, you know, it's quite dusty and dirty, but what you want is you want something to retain the moisture. You want something to enhance the soil, and you do it in layers, and I do mine about a week or two early before I plant. So I've got a bed here. As you can see, the difference between there and there is that this is the potato hill where the Kennebecs are going to go. I did this about 10 days ago. I dug down about 20 inches. I put bone meal and the triple mix and then some compost and some dirt and everything, and I layered it, and I've been watering it every couple of days, soaking it down, and then tomorrow, Sunday, I'm going to plant the potatoes. So we've also got, if you notice right over here, those are wildflowers. That's a bee mix. I put wildflowers here, and over here I put cucumbers and winter squash. The cucumbers, well, they need bees to pollinate, so I put them right next to my flowers, right here. So they're gonna crawl around in the flowers, which is really good. So you need to have flowers. Over here, potatoes don't need flowers, but I got another row right here of flowers, wildflowers, next to onions. And you can see the reds and the whites, they're popping up real nice. I've got a row of carrots. Those are red Danvers. Those have come up. But also with my hills, I don't water in between. I just water what I need. I water by hand. I don't put a sprinkler on it because I don't like weeds. You can put cardboard boxes down. You can put weed, you can put tarps, you can put all kinds of things down in your walkways. This one here is going to be beets. I planted half a row of beets because I don't want a full row of beets and then all of a sudden I'll be eating nothing but beets all day, all week, all month. So I do half a row, and then in about 6 weeks or 2 months I'll plant another half a row. And you see, I think there's one right there. Just little guys, little red things. They're just starting to come up. I think I got one, let's see, right there. It's red. It's kind of hard to see. Anyways, so that's what I do. My peas are coming up real nice. They really like this. I know my beans look a little sick, but I was a little energetic and I planted them in March, and they don't like the cold. 2 will survive, 2 I'm gonna pull. Over here, we got tons of sweet peas, and you put up this webbing on here, and I homemade this whole thing out of clippings. My neighbor was doing some tree trimming, so I grabbed all of his cutoffs and used some rebar tying metal and just tied them up, stuck them in the ground, and there you go. So they're doing real well. It's all in the soil, people. If you condition your soil well, you don't need fertilizers. I just use straight water. So you get your soil conditioned. I like to do it about a week or 2 ahead of time, like that row, because you don't want to burn your plants. You know, if you transplant, you put soil and fertilizers and all kinds of stuff in your soil and you plant right away, you might burn the roots. So I just set it up with that triple mix and some mushroom compost and some of this dirt, the existing dirt, which is, you know, where it's quite dry now. But if you dig down, there's actual moisture down in there. But just like this, if I dig in here, you see the difference. See how dark that is? The reason being is because that triple mix on top really holds the moisture in. It's really, you know, it's quite dry on top, but as soon as you dig down inside, there, nice and brown. There's no triple mix in here. See that? So if you have sandy soil, you want to add peat moss, you want to add humus, you want to add mushroom compost. Beautiful stuff. I don't use steer or chicken manure. You get the wrong stuff, you're going to burn your plants. You're going to burn them and they will not like you at all. When you plant potatoes, you add bone meal. Bone meal and potatoes are like barbecue and beer. You need bone meal when you plant potatoes. So the potatoes have got plenty of bone meal. Dig the hill down really deep. I dug mine way down over 20 inches just to fluff the soil up, because down below it's really compact and it's clay. Potatoes don't like to drive their way through clay, so I just dug it up, fluffed it up, and I did about 4 layers of dirt and compost and triple mix, and I've now watered it for about 10 days. Tomorrow I'm going to plant potatoes. So we'll get back into this old greenhouse of mine, which is probably as old as I am, but it does the trick. Like I said, I've got some vents up in here. This is real glass, no plastic. The potatoes look really nice. I rotate them around and stand them up, and each one of these little buds on here, you could actually take and chop out little buds to make a plant. There's quite a few plants on one potato if you really look at it. I mean, there's a plant, there's a plant, there's a plant. I mean, there's a few plants on there, but I don't have a lot of room. So this will pretty much do half a row, and I'll take a big chunk off of here and then have the big sprouts coming off. So that's the Kennebics. You can put them in egg cartons. Works really well in egg cartons too. You stand them up. It's really warm in here. It's even with the vents open. So I'm going to transplant this into the herb row. These, the peppermint, no, you do not put peppermint in your garden. Okay, reason being, you will have nothing but peppermint for the rest of your garden life. It'll pop up 30 feet down the row. You want to keep these in pots. Okay, don't put peppermint in your garden, or spearmint, because it will take over your garden. Okay, big pots. This stuff here is just, man, this stuff is just, wow, that's really good. Did you know that peppermint helps to get rid of headaches? So if you don't have any aspirin, you make peppermint tea. There you go, and it's really good for you. It's great for spices on lamb or anything like that, pork. So yeah, we got some couple cherry tomatoes I bought from a good supplier, so that's why I'm going to use these ones. And this is garlic, so I'll plant that in the herb section. So once again, it's all in the soil, people. It's all in the soil. I use a mushroom compost. Wonderful stuff. Natural organic, improves the aeration of soil and its water retention. So if you have sandy soil, use that. Use a triple mix. This stuff was only $3 a bag, and it's 28.3 liters. This one's 30 liters. So you're looking at about 10 cents a liter. There's no need to buy organic $7 a bag stuff. This stuff works just fine. So if you get your soil ready, do your soil properly, take your time, don't rush your planting, add bone meal to your potatoes, just you know, a handful, sprinkle, 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 and prepare the soil, let it rest for about a week, and then plant. Water it at the same time though, you gotta water it. That way the soil and the dirt and everything gets a chance to mellow out. Because if you plant right away, you're probably gonna burn everything. Literally, it'll just fry the roots or fry the plants. So that's my little spiel on gardening. So we got some herbs, we got oregano, we got rosemary, and stevia. Anybody heard of stevia? That is probably one of the best sweeteners you can get. That is sugar. It's very good for you. All organic, natural stevia. Go to Walmart, go to places like that, buy stevia sugar. So get away from table sugar and run like you've been chased by the devil when you get to table sugar. Table salt, same thing. I don't touch it. Okay? So I'm going to grow this, and then I'll dry the leaves, and then I'll crush them up, and I'll use that as a sweetener. Why not? Give it a shot. Rosemary, yum. Oregano, can't beat it. Peppermint, well, I'm going to transplant them into bigger pots. That'll go into the herb garden section. This is some thyme. And I think I even got a sage, a freebie in there, so I'm going to transplant that one by itself too. So there we are, potatoes. And a beautiful hot Saturday. Finally, the summer has sprung. Got our stuff. I'm going to do a lot of watering tonight because it's really hot out. Onions are good. I thinned out the carrots. And I'm going to plant a few more rows tomorrow. So, remember people, it's in the soil. Take your time. You can build your house on sand, or you can build it on rock. Okay, so just take your time, and you don't have to spend an arm and a leg for high class, fancy soil conditioners. Just buy good old-fashioned mushroom compost and a triple mix something. With clay soils, you want to add a little sand and the triple mix. Alright, and don't kill them with kindness. Don't water the crap out of them. You got to let them dry. So we got some cucumbers coming up. I just saw, let's see, where's, okay, well, we got one cuke. We got one poking his head up right there. We got another one poking his head up right here. So our cucumbers are coming in right next to the flower patch. So they'll be well pollinated. So enjoy, and I will be talking to everybody again. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something, and happy gardening. Enjoy.